This is what you might have missed on BCSN's Sports Nightly.
It is Monday, and it is time to go inside the birdcage, brought to you by Overhead Door. Joining us, as always, John Wagner, Toledo Blade. He is the beat reporter for the Toledo Mud Hens, and we have a lot to talk about today. And here's what I like about Wags. Usually, copious amounts of notes in front of him. Today, all off the top of the dome. Very impressed.
We're winging it.
Well,
let's see if we're impressed when it's all done.
Yeah, we're winging it inside the birdcage. Even the puns are right there. It's fantastic. All right, Wags, let's talk about it. You wrote about it today in the Blade. You can still catch it online, or I'm sure at your local grocer. Dixon Machado, shortstop, one of the best hitters.
Shortstop? Dixon Machado? Not so fast, my friend.
Now, he has moved about, what, 10 feet to the right?
Yes, he's still on the left side of the infield, but that's about the only thing that stayed the same for him. He had been working at third base for now about a week's time with Larry Parrish, and then when Alan Trammell was in town with Alan Trammell. But on Sunday, we got to see him play third, and he had one ball hit to him and misplayed it. But
but to be fair, it was a bunt, and it was trying to get it wasn't
a tough play,
play,
fast runner, and it was a hit. It was ruled a hit, and then an error allowing the runner to go to second. Larry Parrish, a former Major League third baseman, gave him kudos for his play at third base. So the experiment begins, and the obvious question is,
why, John, is Dixon Machado playing third base?
Good question, Eric.
Thank you.
There are several possible answers. The most logical answer is the one that the Tigers have been passing along to us, both to me and to other reporters who ask, and that is, we need Dixon Machado to be versatile. He's going to be, if he's a big leaguer, he's probably going to play multiple positions on the infield, so he can't just play shortstop every day. He's going to have to learn to play third and learn to play second. I don't think that's the case, though, and let me tell you why.
Subterfuge may be afoot?
I think, and here's why. On Sunday, Dixon Machado played third base for the first time in his career and has worked there for about a week. Okay, so that explains why he's, becoming versatile at third base. The thing is, though, he also needs to be versatile at second base.
Yes.
A position he has never played in the big leagues and is not, I repeat, not working out at.
Right.
So if he's trying to be versatile, he's only trying to be versatile at third base.
Well, let's see. Coincidences or not. Nick Castellanos, who we have seen here as a Toledo Mud Hen, third baseman. He was on the can't touch list. He was the MC Hammer can't touch the list as far as trades were concerned when they were prospects. We talked about how the minor league system has been depreciated, but when he was here, you couldn't move him.
Right.
Now, he's up in Detroit, third base, not playing well. We're not seeing him in the starting lineup. It makes you think something could be happening.
And there's two choices there, Eric. The most sensible one, I guess, given the pieces and information that we have, is that the Tigers are looking to replace him at third base with Dixon Machado at the big league level. That explains why you have Machado working out. Can he handle the position? You put him in a game, see if he can handle it during a game. And if so, you make the switch. You send Castellanos to Toledo. Hopefully gets his bat in order, and happy endings all around. But that's only one choice. There are others.
What's 1A or 2A?
Let's call it 2A and 2B.
Okay.
Because the question is, okay, are we seeing a showcase here? And it could be a showcase for either player. I mean, a lot of people are focused on, well, the Tigers are thinking about a trade, and boy, Nick Castellanos has trade value. And I know Castellanos haters, you're saying, no, he doesn't, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. The guy's young.
Right.
He's going to hit in the big leagues. He's just not hitting now. He has trade value. But part 2B, so does Dixon Machado.
True.
He has hit well at this level. He has proven to be masterful at shortstop. He could play that every day defensively in the big leagues. So you're wondering, is one or the other part of a trade, potentially?
Right. And when you're 30th in minor leagues, why not get rid of one of your best minor leaguers? That helps.
Well, in Dave Dombrowski's defense, two things quick there. One, you're right, you don't have a lot of other options. So you have to look at everybody as a possible trade bait. But two, Dave Dombrowski's track record in trading these guys is win, check mark, win, check mark. I mean, if you look at all these trades, how did the Miguel Cabrera trade work out?
That worked out pretty well.
How about the Anibal Sanchez trade when it was made?
Yes, also pretty well.
And we could go on and on and on. His track record has way more W's than it does L's.
Correct. Oh, and this is so beautiful because right now we would usually say thank you so much, John Wagner, for joining us, and you would see yourself going out the door. But it's a special edition of the Birdcage, and we talk about trade value. We will explore that when we return. Welcome back on this special edition of Inside the Birdcage with John Wagner, Toledo Blade, Mud Hen aficionado. And Wags, we were talking about trades and Dombrowski. He's master of blockbuster. I've got something I want to run past you. We have not talked about this beforehand. I know you're going to say I'm crazy. I know you're going to say this is blasphemous, as all Tigers fans will say. But is this a time, given Dombrowski's track record of blockbusters, do we start thinking, based on what we've seen this year and on the decline since about 2011, and the increase in ERA, do we start looking at trades?
Oh, I know where you're going now. Now you've set yourself up.
Do we start looking at trades for Justin Verlander?
No, and here's why. I mean, the answer is N-O-N-O-N-O, and here's why. Where's the trade value? I mean, make yourself another team for a second. Seriously. I mean, the two things that are working against him are that he's pitching okay. And his contract is, you can't say it's big, you can't say it's large, because it's gigantic.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
You know, I mean, you're going to take on a huge contract for a number of years for a guy who, well, you're hoping he might be able to put it all together, but he might not. And if he doesn't, you're stuck with years and years and years of overpaying massively for a guy. The trade value is the problem there, believe it or not.
Right, and I would think, my thought process was if the Yankees make some kind of push at the end of the year and they need somebody, you know, slide him over to New York, but then he's in the American League, I get it. Or maybe a reverse Doyle Alexander situation for the kid out of Bryan, Whistler, the #1 prospect up in the majors, incredible debut against the Mets.
Sure.
If maybe the Braves get on, I mean, I don't know. I'm throwing it out there.
And I mean, looking at it specifically with the Braves, they're in a building mode for a couple of years down the road, so that's not really
an example.
I understand what you're saying, though. I guess the problem is you'd have to find a massive big market team that could handle the contract without blinking, and the Yankees are example 1A there.
Dodgers, Giants.
The Giants, that's not what they do. Let's put it that way. The Dodgers, maybe the Red Sox, but the Red Sox aren't contending. So I would say you're going to have to really find, I mean, the planets, all 8 of them are going to have to align to kind of make that deal. Are we including Pluto again? No, he's not. It's not a planet, man. Come on.
I thought we were throwing that in.
Come on.
So staying with the pitching deal, we talked about Shane Greene last week. You've had a chance to see him over the weekend. He's pitched a couple of times now since we talked about him, and we said maybe, and I think you wrote about it in the Blake, maybe he could follow the path that Max Scherzer did. Not that he's Max Scherzer, but maybe follow that, come back down to Toledo, get things retooled, and go back up.
Right, and that's what the Tigers are hoping, is that Shane Greene can tweak the mechanics, get the confidence raised a little bit, and not become a Cy Young winner or become Max Scherzer, but just become a serviceable guy you could count on in the 5th position in the Tigers rotation. The problem was Sunday, to steal your line, was a because
he's got blisters on his fingers
and wasn't pitching very well before that happened. So he's going to have to heal the blisters. You want to get some of the work done because, I mean, I was charting his pitches. He was throwing okay. He was throwing okay, but just okay. You know, it wasn't the sharp guy that we saw at the beginning of this season. Rather, it was first 3 starts he was lights out. It was a little bit slower. It just, fastball wasn't as fast. It just wasn't there. So obviously it's going to be more than 2 starts now between the blister and the kind of the rough outing on Sunday. But I think there's still a chance for him to turn it around. So
hold off on the chocolate syrup bath after he throws a big game. Okay, and finally on the way out the door here, Wags, it's been so nice to join us for 2 segments here. J.D. Martinez, former Mud Hen, guy that they just picked up off of the scrap heap from Houston, up with Detroit, a hat trick of home runs against the Yankees in New York. He's the next Miguel Cabrera, right?
No. But you know what? They don't need another Miguel Cabrera. They need a guy behind Cabrera who picks up pieces when teams are intentionally walking Miguel Cabrera, or when Cabrera leads off an inning and doubles, somebody to drive him in. You just need a bat that you fear in that lineup. That's why his emergence over the last year and now 3 months has been just critical for the Tigers. That's why it's even more critical for Victor Martinez to come back and be healthy. That's why this past weekend, for all the ups and downs and so on and so forth around the Tigers, Victor Martinez flew under the radar, which is not as it should have been.
Right.
That's a big deal. If he can become even a shell of Victor Martinez, even a facsimile of the guy who was second in the MVP voting last year, that would be just gigantic for the Tigers offense. And the same for Cespedes. They need their big hitters, all of them, to be big hitters.
Yeah, and if they could pitch out of the bullpen in their spare time, that'd be great
One
too.
step at a time.
Yeah, he is John Wagner. We wouldn't trade him for Justin Verlander or all the money that they have in Ireland.
Can I get his salary?
Well, okay, if you get his salary and Ken will take Kate Upton.
We'll find out which one I'll choose next week.
Thank you, sir.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at @sports_nightly.